Think about the last time you were just scrolling through your phone, like maybe lying in bed or waiting in line for coffee.
Right, the classic mindless scroll. We all do it.
Exactly.
Well,
and you see a photo that just immediately makes your stomach drop.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's an old acquaintance standing on the deck of a yacht, or just this perfectly curated, sun-drenched living room where, no one ever spills anything.
Where dust doesn't exist, yeah.
Right. And in that split second, despite everything you have going for you in your own life, you feel this creeping anxiety, like you are somehow just failing at life.
It's a very specific modern kind of dread.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what if the psychological key to breaking that cycle, that very specific modern anxiety, was actually hiding inside a document meant for beginners learning English?
Which sounds completely wild, I know.
It does. But welcome to the deep dive. Today we are exploring a source text simply titled Dream Life versus Real Life.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because, like you said, it was originally written to teach conversational English.
Right, it's super simple.
But by stripping away all the complex academic jargon, the text accidentally exposes one of the most profound, universal psychological struggles that you and I face.
The massive, painful gap between the pristine life we expected to have and the chaotic reality we actually live.
Honestly, the simplicity of the source material is exactly what makes it so sharp.
Yeah, there's no hiding behind big words.
Exactly. Without getting bogged down in sociological theory, it just cuts straight to the core themes of human dissatisfaction.
So today, we're going to examine the illusions we build in childhood, right?
Yeah.
And that deeply unnatural psychological pressure cooker created by social media.
Right, and ultimately how we can evolve our definition of what true success actually looks like.
Because the goal here isn't just to summarize a text, it is to unpack the mechanics of why we feel so constantly overwhelmed by perfectionism.
And ideally, give you a structured way to completely reframe your concept of the dream life.
So let's start with where the text begins, which is looking backward. Like at the foundational expectations we all build when we're young.
Oh, the childhood illusions.
Yeah. The source points out this universal truth. When we are young, we naturally assume adulthood is just going to be easy.
We really do. We construct this rigid mental template of the dream life.
And the ingredients are incredibly standard across cultures, which I found so interesting.
Right. It usually means having plenty of money, total autonomy, zero stress.
Waking up in a massive house, driving a luxury car.
Basically, we build this narrative that there is a literal finish line to human struggle.
Right. And it's called being an adult.
Yeah, but it's really just an illusion of control.
Yeah.
Because when you are a child, your life is heavily regulated by others.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your parents, your teachers.
Exactly. So you project this fantasy that adulthood equals ultimate freedom from friction. No rules, no problems.
And the text doesn't judge this childhood illusion, right?
Yeah.
It just presents it as the baseline we are all operating from.
It's just the starting point.
No.
But then it draws a very sharp, necessary contrast.
A huge reality check.
Yeah, it states plainly that real life is inherently messy. We fail, we feel completely lost.
Our grand linear plans basically never survive contact with reality.
Not even close.
And the detail the source zeroes in on, which I think is crucial, is that this messiness applies to literally everyone.
Everyone.
It explicitly mentions that rich people, famous people, and even those highly confident people who seem entirely put together, they all have problems.
It's the great equalizer.
It really is. It reminds me of how we view exclusive spaces.
Oh, like what?
Well, looking at adulthood when you're a kid is like standing on the sidewalk in the freezing cold, looking at the entrance of an exclusive VIP club.
Okay, I like this.
You see the velvet rope, the bouncer, the people walking in wearing these amazing designer clothes. And from the outside, you just assume everyone inside that club has it all figured out.
Right, you think it's just pure glamour in there.
Exactly. You assume there's no stress inside, just great music and unlimited wealth. But then you grow up, you pay the cover charge, you walk into the VIP club, and
it's total chaos.
Yes. Somebody is crying in the bathroom. Someone just spilled a sticky drink all over their expensive shoes.
The drinks are way overpriced.
The drinks are insanely overpriced. And nobody actually knows what the DJ is doing.
That VIP club analogy works so well because it perfectly illustrates the concept of hidden struggles.
Right, because you couldn't see the crying from the sidewalk.
Exactly. What the source material is doing here is fundamentally normalizing the chaos of the club.
Which we desperately need.
We do, because usually when we spill our drink or find ourselves crying in the bathroom, we internalize it as a personal failure.
We think, oh man, I am doing adulthood incorrectly. Everyone else is out there enjoying the music.
But the core thesis of this section is that feeling lost or experiencing failure is not a deviation from normal life.
The mess isn't the exception to the rule.
Right. The mess is the rule.
Which brings up a massive, glaring contradiction for me.
Awesome.
Well, if we establish that the reality of the VIP club is messy for literally everyone, including the celebrities and the millionaires,
Yeah.
then why do we still walk around every single day feeling like everyone else is living a flawless existence?
That is the big question.
Like, why haven't we collectively accepted the mess?
Honestly, because of the great distortion engine of the modern age,
Social media.
social media.
Yeah, the text hits this point really hard. It identifies social media as a severe amplifier of our unhappiness.
Because it operates as the ultimate filter.
Right. It is completely designed to only show the happy moments. It intentionally crops out the crying, the financial stress, the mundane, boring failures.
And the text even highlights the absurd extremes of this fabrication.
Oh my gosh, the rental cars.
Yes. Noting that some people will literally rent luxury cars just to take photos with them.
It's crazy. They are essentially renting stage props to construct a completely fictional narrative.
It is a stage play. And the source poignantly mentions that people will smile so brightly for the camera, but literally be in tears the moment the shutter clicks.
Which is just heartbreaking when you think about it.
It creates a deeply toxic psychological environment. The source uses the phrase, comparison steals happiness, which, is a known maxim.
Right, we've all heard that phrase.
But we need to look at the underlying mechanics of why it steals happiness so effectively.
Well, I actually want to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
Because, we logically know this, right? If you ask anyone on the street, they will tell you that social media is a highlight reel.
True.
We know filters exist. We know people rent the cars or take 50 photos to get the right angle. So if our logical brains understand that the image on the screen is fabricated,
Why does it still hurt?
yeah. Why does it still trigger that stomach drop we talked about at the beginning? Are we just naturally gullible? Or is there some sort of biological disconnect happening?
It's definitely not gullibility. It is a biological lag.
A biological lag.
Yeah, specifically related to how our brains evolved to process social hierarchy.
Okay, unpack that for me.
So for hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived in small tribal groups, right? Where what you saw with your own eyes was reality.
If you saw it, it was true.
Exactly. If you saw someone in your tribe with more food or better shelter, your brain's threat detection system, the amygdala, would fire off anxiety.
Because that meant you were falling behind.
Right. It was telling you that your status, and therefore your actual survival, was at risk. Our brains evolved to instantly react to visual social cues.
Wow. So our hardware essentially hasn't updated to recognize a digital filter.
Precisely. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, knows the luxury car is a rental.
Right, the logic is there.
But your amygdala doesn't know what Instagram is.
Oh, that's such a good point.
It just sees a high-status visual cue and triggers an immediate involuntary stress response.
You literally can't help it.
You can't. And compounding this is the concept of asymmetric information.
What does that mean in this context?
Well, you have 100% access to your own behind-the-scenes reality.
Oh, I see.
You feel the ache in your lower back. You remember the argument you had with your partner this morning. You know about the credit card bill sitting on your kitchen counter.
The full mess.
The full mess. But you only have 1% access to the life of the person on your screen.
Just the highly curated, perfectly lit, rented prop 1%.
Exactly. So you are comparing your 100% messy reality against their 1% fiction.
Which is just a mathematically unwinnable comparison.
It really is. And the source material smartly reminds us that everybody has different timing, different struggles, and different journeys.
But when your primitive brain measures your reality against that digital mirage, the inevitable output is going to be a profound sense of inadequacy.
It's practically guaranteed.
Okay, but if we acknowledge that the rented car is a mirage, and the childhood dream of the flawless VIP club is a fantasy, it kind of creates a massive vacuum. Well, what are we actually supposed to replace that goal with? If the old metrics of success are toxic and fake, how does the text suggest we define a dream life without an audience to validate it?
And this is the pivot that really elevates the source material.
Yeah.
It moves from diagnosing the social media sickness to offering a mature alternative framework.
A new way to look at it.
Right. The text argues that as we grow up, our definition of success absolutely must evolve.
It has to.
It acknowledges that early on, success usually means money and showing off, but it has to shift toward elements like happiness, balance, and health.
And the specific definition it lands on is fascinating to me. It says a true dream life is defined by peace.
Yes, inner peace.
Specifically, a peaceful mind. The text explicitly states that inner peace is far more important than showing off to others.
Which is a huge paradigm shift.
Massive. And it introduces a radically different definition of freedom, too. Because when we're kids, freedom just means a lack of rules, right?
Eating ice cream for dinner.
Exactly. Nobody telling us when to go to bed. But the text redefines freedom for an adult. It defines it as the freedom to live without fear, the freedom to do work you actually enjoy, and the freedom to spend time with your family.
Notice how all of those new metrics are internally generated.
What do you mean?
They do not rely on external perception. You don't need anyone to watch you spend time with your family to make it valuable.
Oh, right. It makes me think about the difference between living your life as a thermometer versus living as a thermostat.
Ooh, I like that. Explain that.
So when your goal is showing off like the luxury car, the big house, the Instagram likes, you are acting as a thermometer.
Okay.
A thermometer's only job is to reflect the environment around it. If the room gets hot, the thermometer goes up. If the room gets cold, it goes down.
Right, it has no control.
Exactly. When you live for external validation, your self-worth is just rising and falling based on how other people judge you.
Yeah.
It is exhausting because you have absolutely zero control over the temperature of the room.
That captures the dynamic perfectly. Showing off requires an audience. It is a very vulnerable, highly unstable way to build a life.
But the source's new definition: inner peace, living without fear, doing work you enjoy. That is a thermostat.
Because a thermostat sets the temperature.
Right. A thermostat doesn't just react to the room, it sets the internal temperature. Regardless of whether it's freezing or boiling outside, the thermostat maintains its own climate.
I love that.
By shifting your goal from showing off to a peaceful mind, you are taking back control of your own emotional climate.
And by functioning as a thermostat, you completely bypass the asymmetric information trap of social media we talked about.
How so?
Well, if your goal is to have the most expensive car, someone on your feed will always have a better one.
Always. There's always a bigger yacht.
Exactly. But if your goal is inner peace and spending time with your family, seeing someone else's yacht doesn't threaten your goal. Your success is no longer mutually exclusive with theirs.
That sounds incredible in theory. Like setting the internal thermostat sounds like the perfect solution. But let's look at the mechanics of actually doing that on a random Tuesday when everything goes wrong.
The messy reality.
Yeah, you spill coffee on your laptop, you get a highly stressful email from your boss, and suddenly inner peace feels like a ridiculous, impossible luxury.
It goes right out the window.
So how do you maintain that internal temperature when the external environment is actively hostile?
Well, the source text actually seems to anticipate this very struggle because it ends with a focus on language.
Right, the vocabulary section.
Yeah. The final section is framed as a simple English vocabulary lesson, but structurally it functions as a psychological toolkit.
I noticed that. It's really clever.
It begins by acknowledging a fatalistic tendency we all share. People are entirely too hard on themselves.
Oh, 100%.
When we face a setback, we tend to catastrophize. We think one failure means the whole life plan is completely ruined.
Right. We fail one presentation at work and immediately think, well, my career's over. I have to move into the woods and become a hermit now.
Exactly. We laugh, but that is literally how the brain's threat system processes failure.
That's so dramatic.
It is. But the text grounds the reader by stating very clearly, nobody becomes successful in a single day.
Everyone struggles.
Every single person has bad days. It is perfectly okay to feel confused, and to help internalize this grace, it asks the reader to master 4 specific English words.
Compare, pressure, balance, and freedom.
Let's lay out how the text defines them.
Sure. So, compare is defined as checking yourself against another person.
Right.
Pressure is defined as stress or mental burden, which is frequently handed to us by social media.
Absolutely.
Balance means an equal and healthy life. And freedom is living without control or fear.
Simple, clear definitions.
Very simple.
Yeah.
But my question here is about the practical application. Like, does simply stating a dictionary definition actually do anything?
What do you mean?
If I am having a full-on panic response because I just saw a peer get a massive promotion on LinkedIn, does saying the word pressure out loud actually fix my bad Tuesday?
Well, no, it doesn't magically fix the external problem, but it profoundly changes your internal processing.
How?
There is a well-documented psychological mechanism called affect labeling, which is exactly what this vocabulary exercise taps into.
Affect labeling.
Yeah. Neuroscientists have actually used fMRI scans to watch what happens in the brain when a person experiences a negative emotion.
Oh, wow. What do they see?
When you feel that sudden panic or inadequacy, your amygdala is just lighting up. It's an amorphous, overwhelming alarm bell.
That's that biological lag we talked about earlier.
Exactly. The alarm is blaring, but the scans show something remarkable.
What has to?
When the person is asked to simply name the emotion, to apply a specific linguistic label to what they are feeling, the activity in the amygdala immediately decreases.
Just from naming it?
Just from naming it. The amygdala calms down and activity in the prefrontal cortex increases.
That is wild.
By forcing your brain to search for a word, you are physically shifting the processing from the emotional reactive center of your brain to the logical analytical center.
So you literally put the brakes on the panic by naming it.
You do. The catchphrase in psychology is name it to tame it.
Name it to tame it. I love that.
When you feel that vague, suffocating weight of modern existence, it controls you because it feels infinite.
It feels like it's everything.
Right. But the moment you apply the source text's vocabulary, the moment you say out loud, my life isn't falling apart, I am just experiencing the urge to compare.
Or, this isn't an existential crisis, this is just digital pressure.
Exactly. You put a boundary around the monster, you shrink it down to a manageable size. Explicitly defining these concepts strips away the anxiety of needing a perfect life.
It brings us right back to reality.
It grounds us.
And as the text concludes, we realize we don't actually need the flawless, filtered life. We just need real moments, real people, and real peace.
Which is such a comforting thought.
It really is. Let's trace the path of everything we've pulled from this source material today, because we've covered a lot.
We really have.
We started by dismantling that childhood illusion that adulthood is a frictionless VIP club.
Right, acknowledging that the messiness is a universal feature, not a bug of the human experience.
Then we explored the evolutionary lag that makes social media such a potent thief of happiness.
Explaining why our brains struggle so much to process the asymmetric information of the 1% digital mirage versus our 100% messy reality.
And finally, we learned how to shift from a reactive thermometer to an internal thermostat.
Redefining success not as showing off, but as true inner peace.
And using affect labeling, name it to tame it, to physically calm our brains when the pressure creeps back in.
It's a really powerful toolkit. If you take one actionable step away from this discussion today, let it be the conscious disruption of your comparison habit.
Yes, disrupt the scroll.
When you see the rented cars and the flawless living rooms, recognize them for what they are, curated props. Use the vocabulary to label the pressure.
Name it.
Give yourself the grace to have terrible days without catastrophizing, and start genuinely valuing the messy, unique timing of your own life.
Well said. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on, inspired by the reflection questions at the end of the text.
I'm ready.
Consider the paradox we've unpacked today. If we all rationally know that social media is a fake highlight reel,
Which we do.
right, and if we all know that failure and bad days are a completely universal human experience that even the absolute most successful people face,
Unavoidable.
why does the societal pressure to pretend we are perfect still hold such immense gravitational power over our behavior?
That's a great question.
If we all know the masks are fake, why is it still so terrifying to be the first one in the room to take yours off?
Something to really think about.
Definitely something to mull over the next time you catch yourself trying to hide the messy parts of your own VIP club. Until next time.